Week 3 kicks off in Cleveland, Ohio, the site of Thursday Night Football. Two teams coming off close losses a week ago, both hoping to head into the weekend at 500 or better. Will Sam Darnold recapture his form that he had in Week 1 against the Lions? And then we have Tyrod Taylor, quarterback of the Browns, trying to guide the Cleveland Browns to their first win since 2016. We got you covered right here on NFL Network.
Week 3 begins with new hope in New York and Cleveland. But which team is closer to emerging as a true contender in 2018? As the Jets fly toward the future with their rookie quarterback under center, how soon before the Browns hand the reins to Baker Mayfield? And before earning the job as Jets starting signal caller, he was a humble draft day hopeful.
Wherever I end up, I know it's going to be the right spot.
Relive the night everything changed for Sam Darnold as Week 3 begins on NFL GameDay Kickoff, presented by KFC.
This place is going wild. Into the end zone for a touchdown. What a big play. And it is kickoff. And he'll be sacked.
This is the young team, and this is prime time on Thursday night.
Welcome to NFL GameDay Kickoff, presented by KFC.
All of the fans in Cleveland are out tonight. The Hall of Famer, as I just mentioned, Michael Irvin, here at the desk as we bring you our coverage for Thursday Night Football here in Cleveland. Are you guys pumped about this?
I'm excited.
Feels a little different tonight.
I'm excited, man.
Yeah, it does. And this is a different Jets versus Browns football game.
Yeah.
A different than we probably had in a long time.
Yep.
A lot
right.
of excitement surrounding this.
Yeah, we talked about it too. I can feel the energy in the air, in the stadium, the fans
city,
walking around
right.
in the city. Everybody's excited, and I think this is going to be a good day and a great game.
Yeah, we're not joking. It's kind of intoxicating. I don't know if we're getting swept up in it.
Why do you guys say we're not joking?
I'm
Because
serious.
really, we're
I'm
not
serious,
just
guys.
selling. This is a good day.
We're going to be joined shortly by Browns legend Joe Thomas out in the Muni lot with Dan Hellie and LaDainian Tomlinson. We have a strong rotating crew for TNF this year. A lot of great faces coming through. Steve Smith, he's going to be back with us next week in Foxborough, 2 weeks from now. But we're kicking things off right now for Week 3 in Cleveland. And here we go. The Jets and the Browns, both drafting quarterbacks of the future this year and surrounding them with young talent. The Jets defense loaded with high draft picks, and then the Browns building up that defense as well. Myles Garrett, he's been balling, one of the best pass rushers in the league already. And Jarvis Landry, only 25 years old, he led the league in receptions just a year ago. So both teams, they're building with that eye on the future. And look, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that these are going to be playoff teams this year, or they're playoff teams right now. But which team has a better foundation? Which team's closer to getting to the playoffs?
Well, they definitely can be. They both definitely have the potential. I think, obviously, it's a little early to talk playoffs because with Cleveland, we got to get a win first. We got to get a win first in Cleveland before we can start taking playoffs. But if we're talking about the team with the most solid, I was very impressed with how aggressive they were in free agency this year and also in the NFL draft. I thought they addressed almost every need at almost every position. They're still struggling a little bit on the offensive line, but a lot of the other key pieces around them make up for that. Bringing in guys like Tyrod Taylor, Jarvis Landry, Jamie Collins on the other side, and Myles Garrett. I mean, these guys have playmakers, and then Denzel Ward has looked phenomenal all season.
Yeah, and when we ask the question, we have to really answer it looking at two determining factors. Yes, what the teams are doing individually, building themselves, but also what's going on in the division that these teams are playing in. You know, and the Jets just happen to have the greatest quarterback of all time saying he's planning on playing until 45. So you just can count out for winning the division, getting that way. But the Cleveland Browns, honestly, and I know you talked about earlier, Colleen, the Cleveland Browns right now, they should be 2-0.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They should
100%.
easily be 2-0.
They were so close.
So close.
Yeah.
So close to being 2-0. And right now, when you look at what's happening in that division with the Pittsburgh Steelers, right now the Cleveland Browns are the closest, and the closest can be this year if they find just any kind of a passing game to go along with what else they're doing on the football field. That playoff hope can possibly come in there this year. It's so thin. It's so thin. I can barely see
they got a shot.
2 fingers, but it's a thin one in there. It's a thin shot.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Maybe the Browns will get a win before the Pittsburgh Steelers do this season, which that's incredible thinking about all of the expectations coming into the year and all of the predictions everywhere. Look, the Browns, they're the youngest team in the league, and little part of that is because 33-year-old Joe Thomas decided to call it a career. But
what's up, Joe?
Look, his work is not done. He's out in the Muni lot right now getting guys fired up just like he used to do every week in Cleveland.
Let's go now. Let's have a game today, baby. Let's go. They want to be bullies. You know what you do with bullies? You take their candy. Here we go. Charges on 3. 1, 2, 3. Charge. You get tackled by that little safety? No. That was a touchdown, man. Don't punch me like that. Hey, it's called blocking. I'm looking for flags, but I don't see one. I can't get up like that. I can't get up like that. I can only get up on my front. Ooh, boogers. Let's enjoy this one. It's been a while.
Dan Hellie, you're out where all the action is. Take it away.
Oh, boy. Here we are in the Muni lot with the legend Joe Thomas getting the fans pumped up here. 33 years young, and he, of course, now with us doing a little TV. And how lucky am I, guys, alongside a future Hall of Famer and a current first ballot Hall of Famer in LaDainian Tomlinson. Joe asked me if it was going to be loud out here. Is this loud enough for you, Joe?
What did you say? I can't hear you over all these screaming fans.
Let me ask you about your Browns. 0-1-1. How should these fans feel about your team right now?
Well, they should be a little bit disappointed. They lost to a couple teams that could be in the Super Bowl. But you know what? That should give them optimism because they beat them, except for what happened in the kicking game. So if they can continue to improve throughout the season, they're going to be a factor in the NFC North.
I agree, Joe. And the one thing about young teams that haven't played together is they need to learn how to win. That's the biggest thing with this Browns team. You mentioned that they were in 2 close games with playoff teams. They just didn't finish it. And that's what we see from a lot of teams that just don't quite know how to win yet. I'm very optimistic about this team, especially because of their defense.
That defense leads the NFL with 8 turnovers, by the way. One of just 34 teams with 8 or more turnovers in the first 2 weeks of the season since 1989. No more Josh Gordon here. We know about his talent, but he missed 54 games over the last 4 seasons, 2 full years because of suspensions. Josh Gordon, now a member of the New England Patriots. Your thoughts, Joe, when you heard about your former teammate?
Well, in Cleveland, we're sad to see him go. But for Josh, for the team, this is what's best, I think, for both sides. It was time for a fresh start for Josh Gordon. Production breeds tolerance in the NFL. He had unlimited talent, but even the most talented guys run out of chances. And after 1,001 chances in Cleveland, it was time for a fresh start. And I hope that Josh does great things in New England, just not against the Cleveland Browns.
Going to be very interesting to see how he fits into that sophisticated offense. Worked out very well for Randy Moss. Did not work out so well for a guy like Chad Ochocinco. Let's bring in our Hall of Fame wide receiver, Michael Irvin. Irv, how do you see this fit working out, Josh Gordon with the Patriots?
Hey, thanks, Dan. And listen, there's so much that the head just starts spinning on when you think about the possibilities. And you hear everybody making comments about, well, the culture that was in Cleveland and the culture that is in New England. And how can he hold tight to that culture because it's such a disciplined culture. Let me tell you, the best thing for Josh is a disciplined culture. When you're dealing with someone that has struggling with a stronghold like he's struggling with, the thing that blows our mind is if we could just fathom the natural gifts that this kid have and the great genius that Bill Belichick has and what he's poured out of all of the people that he's had an opportunity to play coach, if he can pour that out of Josh Gordon, and we hope the lure of playing on a stage like the playoffs and possibly a Super Bowl, that strong lure can help Josh Gordon pull away from the stronghold that holds him and say, I will be committed to a football team. I will be committed to this city because of that different possibility. That's what you're hoping for. I think that's what everybody's hoping for when they see and they hear what Josh Gordon is in New England. They hope it works out, because Bill Belichick knows what he's doing, and just the opportunity to play in the Super Bowl pulls him stronger.
That's right. So we're hoping the best for him right now. And look, while he's not here, that means more work for Antonio Callaway. That means more work for Rashad Higgins. And this guy right here, who's always getting it done. Jarvis Landry, he is expected to play tonight, dealing with that knee injury. He's a go.
Bless him.
He did a LeBron, right? He left Miami and came to Cleveland.
NFL Game Day Kickoff is presented by KFC's new 10-piece chicken feast.
Jets quarterback there. You got Josh McCown on the field talking to Troy Aikman. We'll see if Sam Darnold will get going tonight like he did against the Lions. Now, as far as some guys that couldn't be contained last week.
Unstoppable, presented by Courtyard by Marriott.
Play action fake by Fitzpatrick. He's got Deshaun Jackson in the goal. Touchdown Tampa Bay. Wide open to the end zone. Chris Godwin. O.J. Howard. Touchdown Tampa Bay.
Bortles from Moncrief for the score. And once again, a strike by Blake Bortles. I don't know that I've ever seen him better. What a game by number 5.
Snaps it back to Mahomes. Throwing long, out and up. Touchdown. A perfect throw. Mahomes stays hot.
All he does is throw touchdown passes. Nothing seems to faze this young kid right now.
We got Browns fans out here. That's right. So those quarterbacks tore it up Sunday, but now we kick off a new week in the NFL. So who's it going to be tonight? Out to Dan Helly.
Thank you, Colleen. We got a lot of Joe Thomas jerseys, but how about the Jets LT jersey in the house tonight?
I love it.
That is strong. Here in the Muni lot, Joe had to explain to me that Muni meant municipal. He went to Wisconsin, I went to Tennessee. He's obviously going to fit right in here with the television thing. How about a position group or player that's going to have an effect on the outcome of the game tonight, Joe?
Well, for me, the guy that's going to have a big effect on this outcome is Myles Garrett. That guy is an absolute stud as an edge defender. He's incredible because he reminds me of somebody named DeMarcus Ware. This is a guy that's going to walk into the Hall of Fame, but he even has a few more pass rush moves than DeMarcus Ware. Wow. Two of the things he does really, really well is he dips and rips underneath the tackle, comes back downhill to sack the quarterback, and he's really good running line stunts in games. Those are two things that the Jets offensive line don't handle very well, so expect a big game out of Myles Garrett.
And Myles Garrett already putting up numbers, one of just 3 players in the NFL this year with 2 sacks and 2 forced fumbles. The other 2, Von Miller and Khalil Mack, pretty good company there. What about you, LT?
Well, it's the Jets offensive line. They have to be able to protect Sam Darnold. And Joe mentioned it. They don't handle stunts very well. I'm going to show you a couple of plays here where they don't handle the stunt. This is against Miami. This is really a 7-man protection. The tight end is in and the back, and they let Robert Quinn go right around the edge. That was simply, the second one was an ET stunt. In goes inside. A TE stunt. Tackle goes inside, in comes around, and they didn't block you very well. So they have to be able to handle the stunts tonight from the Cleveland Browns. Myles Garrett, his hair is going to be on fire tonight. They have to be able to double block him, triple team him. Whatever you need to do to slow Myles Garrett down is what the Jets have to do tonight.
Left tackle Kelvin Beachum going to have his hands full. Myles Garrett made his NFL debut against the Jets last year, had 2 sacks in that game. One more year for Joe? One more year? Colleen, we got to keep him as long as we can because these fans want him back out there on the field.
Joe is a rock star out there. I love it. All right, let's get into some Play Football. It's a year-round initiative celebrating youth and high school football that aims to promote values of football participation and connect communities all at the same time. So high school players out there, share your highlights with the hashtag Let's Play Football and see if your play makes it into our top high school plays of the week. Here are our winners from last week. Congrats, guys.
Hamilton's Brandon Shanks does his best Odell Beckham Jr. impression for the one-handed touchdown. The LaSalle Explorers use some trickeration for the ridiculous touchdown.
Like the offense there, but how about this one? Just 5 years ago, Myles Garrett was wrecking homecoming for high schools across Texas. 19.5 sacks as a senior. It's not even fair for these kids out there.
That's not fair.
That's what that kid was saying that had to block him.
Yeah.
This ain't fair.
Like, look at this. Oh, my God.
Irv, wait until you see this tweet.
Oh, that's incredible.
Look at him compared to the rest of the guys at Martin High School.
Oh, my God. That looks like Myles Garrett right now at a high school with kids right now. That's what that looks like.
It looks just like that on the football field.
Right now. Right now.
It's like that old Andy Reid video that we always see every year. Oh, my goodness. That's so funny. There's Myles Garrett now arriving. He's ready to get after Sam Darnold tonight. We'll see how he does here from Cleveland.
NFL Game Day Kickoff is brought to you by Verizon. The best unlimited is on Verizon, America's most awarded network.
Cleveland, Ohio, the home of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Browns fans hoping that their team rocks and rolls tonight. I don't know, that's lame, but I was trying to figure it out there. We worked it out.
I like that one.
Yes, we are getting you set for the game tonight. And of course, Sam Darnold. He faces the Browns, but it wasn't long ago that people wondered whether Darnold would be a Brown. So here's a look back at Darnold's draft diary and the turn of events that led him to New York rather than Cleveland.
Are you ready? Let's get it started. The 2018 NFL Draft is now officially open. The Cleveland Browns are on the clock.
What will the Browns do first overall? Will it be Sam Darnold?
With the first pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Baker Mayfield, quarterback, Oklahoma.
That's crazy.
The New York Giants select Saquon Barkley.
Tom Brady's not going to play forever, and a lot of these teams are in the quarterback market. Which team gets it right tonight?
Okay, here comes the commissioner with the Jets pick.
Hello. Hey, this is Sam.
Sam, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
With the third pick in the 2018 NFL Draft.
Yes, sir. It's going to be amazing. I promise you.
The New York Jets select.
Glad to have you, man. More than happy to have you.
Sam Darnold, quarterback, USC.
I love you.
Welcome to the East Coast. Sam, a life-changing experience.
Yeah, I keep saying it, but the people around me, my parents, all the coaches that I've had, I can't thank them enough. I just feel good. You know, I feel really good about it, and I'm excited to get started. It felt like forever, but I'm with the right organization. I'm with the team that wanted me.
J-E-T-S, Jets. You know, it's very nice to meet you.
Look at this, huh? Getting that phone call, you know, it changed my life. Whether I'm a backup or whether I'm starting quarterback, everyone on the team wants to win a Super Bowl. Anything short of that is a failure. I want to get out there and start playing ball.
What a feel-good little piece there. I'm feeling great. Who doesn't love a good front page, too?
Yeah.
Fresh off the draft, Sam Darnold heralded in New York along with Saquon as the chosen one. Then you see this one cleared for takeoff because he's a Jet.
Yeah.
Get it, Reggie?
I got it.
That's right. Then we have this one, Insanity. Yes, that was after the Week 1 win. And, of course, Samilton. That's right. Not to be outdone there.
I like that one.
But just like that, you lose one, and Sam old Jets. That's rough.
They are hard in New York. Boy, they do not hold back.
Still had some beautiful throws in that game, right? I know.
They do not hold back in New York.
That's right. Prime time here. We got Thursday Night Football. Reggie, let's talk about what kind of statement can Sam Darnold make in this game?
I think he has the ability today to make a significant statement because he's going to see a sophisticated defensive scheme. They're going to be bringing pressure after pressure after pressure against him. I played with Greg Williams in 2009. We won the Super Bowl, played on the quarterback, and he loves turnovers. And that's why this defense right now is in the top 5 in turnovers. So I think he has a really great chance today to show that he can handle the pressure. Right. He can get the ball out quick when the pressure is coming, because that's the most important thing for him today.
It's his third game, too, in 11 days. Yeah. That's a lot. 2 back-to-back short weeks.
It's a lot to take, Reggie. And when they talk about, it's a statement to the Browns. I mean, you went through that with the Texans, right?
Yep, I did,
Drafted you thought,
they passed up on me. So I listen. Anytime you can use that chip, anytime you can use that motivation to find a way to beat a team, then you got to use it. I use the motivation because this was a team that passed up on me. I'm actually still mad at Charlie Casserly why he passed up on me.
What'd you do in that game right there, Reggie?
We went to work? No. See,
right there.
Who's in charge of these clips right now, man? Give me the ones where I'm doing something. Don't show me the ones where I'm getting
That's what you got to, you got to check.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Just show the, oh, my God. That's the word. You couldn't show anything but that play right there.
But it is, as Reggie mentioned, it is always important. And football players they try to use everything as a tailwind, as energy and motivation to move forward. But the most important thing is for him to show the Browns. Let me tell you something right now. You watch this kid, Sam Darnold, right now on the football field. He looks like something special. So all of these Browns fans that are seeing him the first time up close, they're going to wonder, man, did we get the right guy? Why didn't we get that guy? But the reality is he needs to show that he can handle that blitz like Reggie talked about. They blitz 46% of the time. Not just the Browns, but the rest of the NFL that I can handle blitz.
He's made some veteran throws out there. Can't wait to see him tonight, and can't wait to see this segment coming up here. Joe Thomas stretching before field goal kicking. I love it. LT, we'll be right back.
Coming up on NFL GameDay Kickoff. After a heartbreaker in the Bayou, this former Brown reveals why hope is on the horizon. Meanwhile, with the Sam Darnold era off to a hopeful start,
41-yard bomb!
Have the Jets found the franchise quarterback they've been searching for since Broadway Joe?
I'm very confident here that we're going to win some games.
Plus, the Browns' bombastic offensive line coach stole the show this offseason.
Shahad!
Relive Bob Wiley's most memorable hard knock moments.
Are you kidding me?
When NFL GameDay Kickoff, presented by KFC, returns.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Want more stats? Hey Siri, who has the most touchdowns in football?
Siri's always got us covered. So once upon a time, the LA Chargers, they played in San Diego, and their final road game, it was right here in Cleveland. The Browns won it. It was the year 2016, a crazy time to be alive. But since then, there's been a lot of gut punches. To all Browns fans watching right now, I apologize for us showing this.
Well, the Browns come in, still looking for that elusive first win of the season. Caught at the goal line. The Browns have extended their lead. And the Packers battle back. They lose the lead with 17 seconds left to go. Unbelievable turn of events. Heartbreaking losses. This is a chapter all to itself. They're 0-15 today with one more shot to win. Firing to the end zone. Touchdown. We are tied.
Choo-choo. He's on his way. Touchdown.
And this is probably going to be their last shot.
Kaiser's pass is incomplete.
And the Browns lose this game, unbelievably go 0-16. It is opening day for the Cleveland Browns today, and we're going to try and win it with 13 seconds left to go in overtime. It got blocked, and they play to a draw. The extra point, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? No good, with 3 seconds to go. Unbelievable.
It's painful. Poor Zane Gonzalez. Look, everyone thinks kicking is so easy. Browns fans out on Bourbon Street after the game last week, hoping to catch the eye of John Dorsey. Reggie, they're just letting it roll out there in the street.
That looked like a lot of fun, too.
Right?
I wish I was out there kicking that ball on Bourbon Street.
One guy that did catch the eye of John Dorsey, Greg Joseph. He spent the offseason with the Dolphins, a perfect 3 for 3 in the preseason. He was chilling on the beach on Sunday, and then 4 days later, he's a professional football player.
Wow.
You know who else was maybe chilling on the beach 4 days ago?
Joe Thomas.
Probably, and maybe Dan Hellie. I feel like Dan Hellie was definitely on a beach 4 days ago.
I seen him on the beach.
I may have been, actually. These guys were not smiling, by the way, when those kicks were missed. Chris and Danny wearing their Joe Thomas jerseys. One of the reasons they are such big fans of this man right here is because he played in 167 straight games. He didn't miss a snap for almost 11 seasons. How do you handle when you have a game in hand, a game that you should have won? You played well enough to win, and then a kicker doesn't do his job, and he loses the game in the end.
Well, I've been through those moments a few times in my career, and it's devastating because forever you take the kicking game for granted, and then all of a sudden when you need them, they miss. And what do you say to the kicker?
It's tough, man. Hey.
Yeah, just pat him on the back.
Sorry,
we'll get him next time.
All right, we are going to try our hand at kicking because I don't think it can possibly be that difficult, especially this kick here, which is probably about 20 yards. LT volunteered to be the first guinea pig out of the gate going first. LT.
Not really.
You're good. Yeah, no, you did. You did, my man. All right, well, we'll hold your mic. We'll hold your mic.
What I need to do with the kicker?
Yeah, just walk it off.
It's not going to help.
LT lining up for basically what is a short extra point for the win for the Cleveland Browns. It is up,
Whoa.
and it hooks hard left. LaDainian, my goodness.
That's why I'm wrong with
Great effort.
That was
not so much.
All right, here we go. I don't think it can be that hard, LT.
All right.
By the way,
here we go, Dan.
I'm going to hold the mic while I do it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Swag.
Come on, man. You just take a big step up.
Oh, just like that.
Look out below.
Killed somebody in the front row.
Okay, that wasn't good. That wasn't good. Unfortunately, I only
Hope you
get one
got a
shot.
good umbrella policy.
All right, I have somebody else who I think is going to make it. Chris, you ready? Hold on, come here. You ready?
Yeah, definitely ready.
All right, let's do this, dog. You got 5 seconds. Make it good. Chris is up, and he's left. Everybody's going
Closest
left.
so far.
Danny.
Wide left.
Danny, I have a lot of confidence in you, and I think the reason is the shoes.
Yeah.
I suggest maybe just a straight-on kick.
Yeah.
The boots?
Yeah, I like the boots. Let's do it. Danny's up. Mostly straight-on kick. That was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Wow. We saved the best for last.
The man of the hour.
Oh, what's he doing? What's Joe Thomas doing? He's doing his TO. He has the Sharpie and the sneaker. He's going to autograph the ball and then send it into fandom.
That's awesome.
We have an autographed Joe Thomas football. Whoever catches it, keeps it. You guys good with that? You good with that? Let me hear you. I can't even hear you. Straight on. Joe Thomas is, oh, yeah!
You almost knocked you out.
You almost took my eye out. But that was awesome. Did you know you were gonna toe it the whole time?
I'm gonna be honest. I was an all-state kicker in high school, so it was a little bit of a unfair advantage.
Are you serious?
Not really, but I did kick when I was in youth football.
And he almost poked my eye with our poor high five attempt, Colleen. I'm gonna go get an ice pack, but I'll be here for the rest of the show.
That was phenomenal. I love Dan Hellie jumps right in for the post-kick interview. That's awesome. LT,
like a
come
one-dimensional
on, man.
athlete out there.
I feel like you need another shot at that. It's all right. Dan, disappointed in you as well. But good job, Joe. Awesome stuff. Joe's going to join us in a little bit inside First Energy Stadium. That celebration. That's
break
awesome.
the tape. That was break the tape.
The stadium here in Cleveland is starting to fill up. That's right, you're looking at First Energy Stadium as Browns fans hope to see their first win in 20 games for their team, their Brownies. Now, the Jets and the Browns, both the focus of HBO's Hard Knocks in recent years. And if you watch this year, then you know the breakout star, well, it's Bob Wiley. There is Bob Wiley again today with another
He got the rose. He got the ring.
Yes.
No, he he got the rain.
This guy, I can't imagine what his garage looks like.
Pimping ain't easy.
Insane.
Pimping ain't easy.
Wow.
It ain't easy.
Oh
Pimping ain't easy.
All 5 episodes of Hard Knocks training camp with the Cleveland Browns. It's streaming right now on HBO Go and HBO Now. It's amazing. Time to see who's ready for the game, presented by Wrangler. Those guys are all very ready for the game. Right, Dan?
You guys ready for the game? They're asking if you're ready for the game. I think they're ready for the game, Colin. There's no doubt about that. I'm ready for more Bob Wiley. You got to work with this guy just for one season. What was it like being in that offensive line room with Wiley? I can't imagine the story.
He's the most interesting man in the world. He flies jet airplanes. He drives Rolls Royces apparently now. Maseratis. He's a great guy. He's fun. He's funny. Knows his football. And he's a great teacher, actually. He's even been able to teach his stomach how to move in perfect unison with his cadence. But he was everything you could ask for from an offensive line coach, and I just loved my year with him.
That became a great meme on Twitter, the stomach movement, by the way, with the hut. Tell me about the cars. We saw the white Maserati on Hard Knocks. We see the Rolls Royce here. My mother used to tell me that people fit their cars. They almost look like them. But he doesn't look like those cars.
Don't judge a book by its cover, right? Bob Wiley, he's a guy that likes finer things in life. Don't be surprised if he pulls up in something even nicer next week.
True story that he flew planes?
He still does. He's got a jet. I don't want to be speaking out of school for Bob, but the guy's got a lot of nice stuff, and in the offseason, he likes flying his jet to his multiple homes all over the world.
Oh, my goodness. He's coaching because he loves it. He's been coaching on the NFL level for 25 years, also coached in the CFL and college as well. I think we should just put a camera in a room with Bob Wiley, make that a TV show by itself. Colleen, I think that'd sell.
And Dan, I'm 100% into that show. I would watch it in a second. Even just for the cars.
There he is.
Crazy.
Oh, he's ready.
Taylor, look, he's locked in.
He's ready. He's
right now, locked and loaded.
Ready.
So are we. We're going to talk Tyrod next.
Time for the bucket list, presented by KFC.
Hey, you know what's on the bucket list of Steelers fans? Seeing Le'Veon Bell play for them in 2018. Bell hasn't signed his franchise tender, and that's only where the drama begins in Pittsburgh. So the Steelers, they're winless through 2 weeks for the first time since 2013. That year, they couldn't recover and they missed the playoffs. The last time they weren't playing in January football. And their defense, well, it's been problematic. 63 points given up this season, the 5th most in the league. Oh, and their all-world receiver skipped practice on Monday, so it's not an ideal situation. Right now, Antonio Brown addressed the media today.
We didn't win the game. You guys frustrated? I thought you guys around here supposed to be writing about winning. The culture should be winning. That's all that matters. That's our business is winning. If we're not winning, I'm pissed off. I'm passionate about winning. I signed up to win. I work extremely hard, putting 20 hours a day of my life and my body away from my family to win. And when we don't, yeah, I'm pissed off because I take it serious. A lot of time going into this, a lot of hard work and effort, you know. So, yeah, I am pissed off. Obviously, it's a team game. My success does depend on Roethlisberger, the offensive line, and all the other receivers doing their job. But as a competitor, I mean, I take this serious. You know, it's not just a game to me and cashing checks. Money don't matter. You know, I look at my assignments and my performance. That mean a lot to me.
So once again, the Steelers are not keeping their stuff sort of in-house. We've seen this before. But, Irv, how do they get themselves back on the right track? What do they do from here?
Well, first of all, it's so funny to me. I mean, this is a football family, and they've always held it that way and played it that way, you know. And I know we talk about Mike Tomlin, and he has to get that locker room straight, but believe you me, that the Rooneys are running everything over there. And what you're hearing this guy talking about right now, Antonio Brown, say what you will, and yes, Antonio Brown wants to win. But Antonio Brown is the #1 receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Antonio Brown is #2 in yards. Juju Smith, both of them have 18 receptions because we keep talking about the targets.
Yeah.
Both have 18 receptions.
Yeah.
But Juju Smith has 120 yards per game, where Antonio's averaging 80 yards per game. Both games, he's had more yards than Antonio. Trust me, trust me, as a #1 receiver, that's bothering him. We had an offensive coordinator change. And you saw what happened in Atlanta when they went from, when they changed offensive coordinators. Nobody thought about that in Pittsburgh, and I think we're seeing that happen and manifest itself in Pittsburgh. Todd Haley's here in Cleveland now. He knew how to feed that monster so that energy works towards him, and they need to learn how to feed that monster in AB so they can use that emotion for them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm listening to the press conference, and he's saying I'm pissed off. He's saying I'm mad. He's saying we suck. And that's all good. You should be mad that you guys lost because you guys should have won those games, right? But the true character of a man, of a football player, shows up when things are going wrong. Who are you when you guys are losing football games? Are you showing up? Are you the first one in the building and the last one out? Because
he didn't even get in the building.
Yeah, you got to get in the building, right? Exactly.
But I think we got to clarify all of what he's saying. He's saying I'm pissed off and I'm mad that we're losing these games. Yeah. And we're losing them because I'm not the main target here. I'm not the catalyst of this, even though.
Do you believe that?
Oh, absolutely. Well, he believes it. Doesn't matter whether I believe it or not. Right. He believes it. Okay. He believes it. That's what he's stating. Yeah. He's saying, get back to getting me the ball because that's how we won around here lately, and we need over the last few years, and we need to get back to that.
But their connection is off. Like something doesn't feel right between Roethlisberger and Antonio Brown. When he does go to him, it doesn't seem like it's still there. What was there before?
They have
I don't know what it is.
They have a new offense, right? They're still learning. They're still figuring it out. Like you said, Todd Haley is here, but to whom much is given, much is required. Tremendous athletes have tremendous responsibility, and you have a responsibility to the rest of your teammates, because when you don't show up to practice, you're not just hurting yourself, you're hurting everybody else, because when you step out of that front door of your house, you represent the Pittsburgh Steelers, you represent the city, you represent the fans, you represent your family, you represent everybody, and it matters. You have a significant impact when you do not show up to practice, and that has to be addressed.
Yeah, and Antonio is just trying to say, guys, listen, I know what has worked for years. Let's get back to that. I know everybody's coming in. They have their own thoughts on how to try to get back on track and what they want to do. And these new offensive coordinators, they want to put their stamp on the team. Antonio saying, forget your stamp. Get back to the stamp that has been working, and that's been me. We won with me. I guarantee you that's his thought process.
And the problems right now, they go beyond the passing game. They go beyond Antonio Brown. The defense right now, since the second half of week 1, they've allowed 678 yards. That's no good. Plus, we saw what happened with the special teams.
They'd be yelling at that D coordinator.
There's a lot to unpack there. But we have Joe Thomas on his way over to the set right now. We're excited about that. As you can see, he got a police escort. That's pretty cool. Look at that. We're getting a full view of his trip over to the set inside the stadium.
So funny,
He's going to join us coming up next.
Moving on up inside the stadium.
Yes, sir. Cleveland Browns, New York Jets. Let's get it. It's Thursday and football's back. You know what time it is. Browns versus Jets. They about to handle all kind of biz. Cleveland dropped it close when the fight was big. This might be the start of something if they find a win. But not if Sam Darnold hit the gas on them. You know the Browns had the first pick and passed on them. So this might be the time to get even. Face off between New York and Cleveland. Thursday night football.
In the shadow of Hollywood's glare, stars craft the next chapter of their tales. The quarterback, hoping a fresh start will deliver this franchise the perfect finish. The rising talents, eager to prove last season was just a glimpse of what's to come. Vikings, Rams. When it's on, it's on.
If you want it, go get it!
Thursday Night Football, next Thursday at 8 on NFL Network, Fox, and streaming on Prime Video.
4 yards, right, Brandon?
Thursday Night Football back in the state of Ohio to kick things off for week 3 of the NFL season. The Jets and the Browns were vying for that first overall pick a year ago, and what a difference a year makes.
Two teams building for the future show promise in the present. One flies into battle with a rookie already at the helm.
Sam Darnold piloting the Jet offense down the field,
while the other waits to unleash theirs on the NFL.
Welcome to the NFL!
Both set to make a statement tonight that the future is already here. Jets, Browns, week 3 starts now. Welcome to NFL Game Day Kickoff, presented by KFC.
That's right. Get excited, everybody, for the Browns and the Jets tonight. There's Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold on the field. Having a little chit-chat there, a little laugh with each other pregame. And look, the Jets, they gotta be excited about what they've seen so far with their young quarterback. What's up, everybody? I'm Colleen Wolfe here with Joe Thomas on the field. What's up?
Yeah.
We got Joe Thomas in the building.
Quite an entrance you had there.
That was a fun time out there. I could do that every week.
That was amazing. I know.
I'm happy you made that kick though, because that
was awesome.
it was so. And you signed the football too. Whoever got that football is gonna be.
It didn't even look like you tried either. It was like so effortless.
Yes.
Like, I'm just gonna kick this field goal, whatever.
Yeah.
Bye, Dan.
You made LT look like a one-dimensional athlete.
Reggie Bush, Michael Irvin hanging out with you, and we're gonna talk about these young quarterbacks now. So listen, the Jets, Sam Darnold, he's just one of the many young quarterbacks right now tearing it up. So as you can see, look, we do keep records through the first 2 weeks of the season, okay? Because we like to. Completion percentage through 2 weeks, that's a record for him right now. Touchdown passes, a record. And passer rating, yeah, you can book it. That's a record too. So what's the deal for week 3? Let's get over to Erin Andrews, who will be part of tonight's broadcast with Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, and Christina Pink. And Erin, I just saw you talking to Sam Darnold over there on the sideline.
Yeah, Colleen, first of all, I got to tell you, I walked over here to come do this hit. I thought all these Cleveland fans were cheering for me. Greg Joseph, the newly signed kicker, warming up. They're going bananas for this guy during warm-up. So, hi, guys, we're here. But more importantly, they're pumped up over this new kicker. Now back to the quarterback. Sam Darnold just met the guy for the very first time, and he's exactly how everyone described him, as calm, cool, and collective. He said, you know, he's going to really look at these games as lessons. I asked what he thought and learned about the loss to Miami, and he said for him a couple of things. He needs to figure out what he's seeing before he throws it. Of course, he had those 2 interceptions. He said he really needs to start trusting his wide receivers more and go with your gut. Trust his instinct. Now, I asked him about getting ready for this Cleveland Browns defense on such a short week. This guy has played 3 games in 11 days. Josh McCown, his backup cornerback, and really his brother in this system, has said, once you get past tonight, buddy, it is going to be smooth sailing. But McCown saying he's just going to stress to him, worry about the simple things, his footwork, where, he puts the ball. Do not get crazy and worry about this Cleveland Browns defense. Guys, hello, Joe Thomas. Welcome, by the way.
Hey, thank you for having me. This is great.
This is awesome. Yeah, Erin, you're exactly right, too, because Sam Darnold has to worry about this Greg Williams defense. And playing his 3rd game in 11 days, that's a lot to sort of digest. So I'm going to start with you, Joe. What have you learned right now through these first 2 weeks about the Jets?
Well, what I've learned is they've got a quarterback that they can work with, right? Yep. They finally got that guy that can be their franchise quarterback, that they can build a team around. Yeah. And they've got a pretty good defense. Yeah, they're really stout against the run. They fly around. They're going to get some turnovers. So they're going to keep them in a lot of games that maybe Sam Darnold won't.
Yeah, exactly. But the reality is, and we all marvel at how great he looks and how talented he is, even Sam Darnold will not escape the maturation process that must be taken when you get in and graduate to the National Football League. And you see it in the peaks and valleys. Last week he throws for 334 yards, a Jet single-game rookie record. But he still has this team last in red zone efficiency. Those peaks and valleys will go all year long with this football team of the New York Jets.
What about you, Reggie?
We got Mr. Rolls Royce.
Reggie's starstruck right now because Bob Wiley just walked up.
Most interesting man in the world.
Yes.
We're all very excited and kind of caught us off guard.
To meet him. I haven't met him yet, but I will. But I learned that the Jets, like you said, they have a ball-hawking defense. They have a really good defense that's going to get them turnovers, is going to get the ball back to this quarterback, to this offense, which is really good for a rookie quarterback. Getting Sam Darnold 2 or 3 more possessions, that's only going to add to his value. That's only going to allow him to be able to make more plays for that offense.
Yeah, we'll see how he does tonight with that Greg Williams defense. Just throw it to Quincy. Get to Quincy and Moonbot. That's what you got to do out there.
I like that key.
On the flip side, the Browns, all they want is a win right now. Just one. They've come so close, too.
And the Steelers take a 14-point lead into the 4th quarter. He's throwing right corner of the end zone, up in the air. Josh Gordon caught it to tie the ball game up. If you're the Browns. You're thrilled you're going to overtime. And Big Ben got hit. The ball got picked off. And we're going to try and win it in overtime. Kick on the way. It got blocked. We'll take a tie, and then we'll come back another day and win. 1 quarter to go. The Browns 12, the Saints 3.
Caught Mike Thomas, and the Saints take the lead.
A bomb by Tyrod Taylor on a 4th down and 5. Gonzalez for the extra point. Kick is up. He missed it again. Field goal to tie the game up. No good. The Browns made mistakes, and it cost them.
All right, so on the positive side of things, they played 2 teams that a lot of people considered playoff locks coming into the season, and they played them really tough. Those were really close games. So far, what have you learned about the Browns?
Well, I feel like that's almost the same thing we learned about the Jets. They've got a really good defense that'll take the ball away. They're going to keep their offense in games. And right now, the offense has improved from where they were last year, but they have not yet scratched the surface of the potential they have with all the weapons that they have.
Yeah, and I tell you what I've learned. That first of all, they have to learn how to close out wins. And I can tell you, man, that that's not an easy thing to do. We talk about it all the time. It's not an easy thing to do, especially when you're changing the culture. Because when you're in a game, late in the game, you're starting to say to yourself, to everybody, man, we really got a chance to win this. We really got. So you start doubting even in that kind of a statement. You have to find out ways to finish these games, because right now you should be 2-0.
They should be 2-0.
You should be 2-0.
I'm mad as heck right now. We're not here talking about the undefeated Cleveland Browns. They should be 2-0. And to your point, they have to figure out how to close and how to win those close games, because that mentality doesn't just start on Sundays. That goes from Monday through Saturday. It goes on back to training camp, mini camp, OTAs. How are you finishing your reps? How are you finishing in the weight room? How are you finishing on the practice field? That all adds to the mentality of how you finish football games on Sundays.
Right. And in the day, they have to finish this game with the win, because all of the hope that has been built up around here in Cleveland, now you have to beat the team that you're supposed to beat.
Do it this week. Reggie and I said when we walked into the stadium, it feels different in here today. Now, this is my first time here, so I don't really have anything to compare it to, but it feels really great in here right now.
They're not with me.
How about this tweet, guys, from Omar Ruiz?
Just give it a minute.
Carlos Hyde is expecting a baby any minute. Well, his wife is expecting a baby any minute. That's amazing. So he's told that the labor was induced last night. So, wow, potentially a long and joyful day for Carlos Hyde and his wife. And you, Joe Thomas, you just welcomed a new baby into the world as well. So congratulations there.
Thank you. I just had a baby girl about 2 weeks ago, so I'm not exactly sure I know what he feels like after going through labor and then going playing a game, but I was a little tired showing up here this morning.
Congratulations, buddy. Congratulations on that.
A lot on his mind, a lot on his plate right now, Carlos Hyde. Dan Hellie, take it away, my friend.
Thank you, Colleen. Out here in the Muni lot, just starting to fill up pregame here. LT, that Carlos Hyde story, kind of crazy. They need him on the field tonight. You actually did have a close call.
I did. My baby girl, Dan, was born the day before our first game, my last year with the Jets. That Saturday, she was born. And so it was a close call with that as well.
But you made it on Sunday. In terms of these two teams, Browns, Jets, which one do you feel like right now is closer to being a playoff team?
Well, I would say the Jets, and Michael Irvin talked about the maturation process a little bit earlier of the quarterback, Sam Darnold. And I believe that process has to start sooner than later. And they're building their core players right now around Sam Darnold. When you talk about the Cleveland Browns, they really haven't started that process with Baker Mayfield yet. So they're prolonging that process. And so right now, I have to say the Jets.
All right, the Jets haven't made the playoffs since you were on the team. That was in 2010. Of course, they went to the AFC Championship game during the Rex Ryan area. The Browns have not made the postseason since 2002. That's the longest streak in the NFL. Colleen?
Thank you, Dan. I like that megaphone that a fan has back there. Wow. I also like this kick by Joe Thomas and the Frank the Tank celebration.
Joe,
amazing.
Right.
Oh, then you got Dan
I like you,
right
Joe.
there.
You all right?
Oh, there he is. That's
One lucky fan who got an autographed Joe Thomas ball that was kicked to him through the uprights. Awesome stuff here in Cleveland so far.
He never is.
Get that W nut.
Coming up on NFL GameDay Kickoff, Sam Darnold took flight in Week 1 and then came down to earth.
It's picked off.
It's just a bad pass by Sam Darnold.
Find out what to expect from the Jets rookie quarterback tonight. Meanwhile, when can Browns fans expect to see the future of their franchise assume the starting role?
Welcome to the NFL!
And as the defending champs bring their star signal caller back to action, is it too soon to start Carson Wentz? Our experts have the answers on NFL Game Day Kickoff, presented by KFC.
Call my name. Are you ready?
What we're looking at here is the one and only, the great Jim Brown. A shed tackle, a spin. He's not always trying to shake you, but he can. He's not always trying to run you over, but he can.
What I like about Joe Klecko is the grit, the energy, the way he runs out of the tunnel is like he's running out all crazy.
What? No, hold on. You guys got to see this right quick. Off someone's hands, he catches it, and it's a touchdown.
Curtis Martin, man, he was a powerful running back. He knew what his offensive linemen were doing, too, before it happened. He was very patient, and he just knew where to hit it.
This style of back is coming back to the NFL. Guys like Ezekiel Elliott, Ty Gurley, Shaquan.
He's the guy they want to get the ball to down the field. Don definitely put in the work, Hall of Famer and all, but he wouldn't beat me.
This guy has it all. Something special.
Ozzie Newsome, the original, the OG, tight end animal. I don't think people really understand how great he was in his time, how great he would be even now in today's era.
That's cool right there. That's very cool right there.
How could you not get excited after watching that?
Cool. That's cool. I like that.
Love it. You're looking at First Energy Stadium right now as the Browns and Jets get set for the game tonight. We're set. We're so excited about this. And look, we're all waiting to see a couple of the guys get on the field. But look, Carson Wentz is one that we've been waiting for a while, and the wait's over. He's been cleared for contact. He's getting the start on Sunday. It'll be 287 days since suffering the torn ACL and LCL, which, looking at some guys over the last 10 years, that's on the faster side of things. So if the Eagles had taken care of business last week against Tampa Bay, do you think that this would be different? Do you think that they're maybe rushing Carson Wentz back, Joe?
I don't think they are. Actually, I know that he is not being rushed back because a typical ACL rehab is about 6 months. I tore my ACL in college. I know some of you guys have done it too. So after 6 months, you're physiologically healthy. And it's just up here that has to be ready at that point. And the only way you can get ready up here and know that that knee is healthy is by going out there and getting live reps and getting hit. And so I think he is definitely ready to come back and play right now.
It seems like he looks good in practice right now. So they have the Colts and then the Titans, and then after that they have the Vikings. So does any of this play into, like, the schedule? Does it play into it at all because that Vikings defense is so tough?
Well, I think it does, because you definitely you don't want to put him out there against the Minnesota Vikings and have that be his first game, especially with the kind of pressure that the Minnesota Vikings can get on the quarterback. So I think these two games are really good games for him to go out there and test it out, because like Joe just mentioned, when you're coming back from injury, anytime I came back from injury, the first thing you have to do is, the first thing you want to do is see how you handle getting hit, right? So once you get past that first hit, then you feel good, then you feel confident. But only Carson Wentz really knows in his head how he feels, how his knee feels. But we'll find out very quickly on Sunday.
And they're trying to manage it from both sides. They know, hey, you put him out there, one of the better teams in the league, and one of the better teams go up. Carson Wentz's competitive nature is going to take over. Exactly. And he's not going to be thinking about all of that stuff. And he may try to do too much. Now, every team in the NFL is a tough team, but the Colts are a little less tough than some teams, so this is a good shot to put them in right now.
They might not like that at home.
I'm just giving you Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the gospel right there.
Well, as for the quarterbacks we're going to see tonight, gentlemen, former Ravens Super Bowl winning quarterback Trent Dilfer and John Brinkus give us the soul and science between two guys that have approaches that are vastly different from each other.
This week's game features two guys, Sam Darnold and Tyrod Taylor, hoping to change the trajectory of their franchises.
Yeah, and John, both have unique skill sets. It's going to be really fun to take a closer look at.
All right, check out our soul and science breakdown.
Sam Darnold utilizes textbook biomechanics.
To maintain balance, he repositions his feet 6 times in less than 3 seconds.
Stands in the pocket and delivers.
On the run, Darnold generates enough torque with his hips to get off a 55-mile-per-hour pass. And by creating roughly 65 degrees of separation between his hips and shoulders, Darnold proves the throws he executed for Soul and Science before the draft are NFL ready. Now we know Tyrod Taylor can run.
Gonna run it to the 5, to the end zone.
But his legs also set up his arm. In this play last season, Taylor lowers his center of mass for a 90-degree cut. He takes only 2 strides before he turns his head. By reorienting his legs as his torso rotates 180 degrees, Taylor is primed to throw a strike. Now watch out for Taylor on 3rd down. Last season, he had 214 rushing yards on 3rd down. For quarterbacks, that led the league.
And Johnny's not just a scrambler. He's a guy that attacks the line of scrimmage with his eyes downfield and uses that big arm to pierce the defense. When you study him, you see play-making ability with his mobility.
Now, what do you think about Darnold? He was your favorite going into the draft.
Well, as you can see by the piece, he has total command of his physical ability. But what I really admire and respect about Sam Darnold, he has total command of all of his intangible traits as well. Mentally, emotionally, rock solid. He's the guy that no matter what happens on Sunday, he's going to walk in that locker room with no flinch, and the rest of that team's going to feel great about him. Sam Darnold has it all going on for him.
He's got it going on. So does Cleveland and Dan Hellie out there with the fans as they get themselves pumped up for this game tonight. I don't think they need a whole lot of motivation. They look really fired up right now, Dan.
Yeah, I think they're good to go. I see a lot of red Solo cups. I think we know what that means. Let's talk quarterbacks, LT. Tyrod Taylor, how does he match up against this Jets defense tonight?
Very well. You know, he's 4-2 against this team. And part of the reason why he's played him a number of times, he knows what to expect. And the thing that makes Tyrod Taylor so difficult is his ability to make plays with his legs and also keep the play alive when there seems to be nothing there. The other thing that he has going for him, what quarterbacks typically do, Dan, they go back to previous matchups to get the game plan, to scout that team to see how they're going to match up against him. He's going to see some things that would give him telltale signs tonight of how the Jets might blitz him, how they might flush him out of the pocket, maybe going to his left. Certain things like that, Tyrod Taylor will have a good idea of how the Jets are going to attack him.
He's actually had tremendous success against the Jets, 3-2 in his career as a starter, and he's the #1 rushing quarterback in the NFL this season. Kelly?
That's right. I believe 103 rushing yards right now for Tyrod Taylor. Then we have Baker Mayfield, who will be backing up Tyrod tonight, but for how much longer? Christina Pink is working the sidelines tonight. What's up, Christina?
Hey, Colleen. You know, the chatter around Baker Mayfield is really never going to end. He's the guy coming in with all the hype, and he's a #1 overall pick, but the Browns have a game plan, and the reason why the dynamic works is because they were honest with Mayfield from the beginning that he was not going to start out as a starter. Now, he's naturally a competitor. He wants to win. He told me that when I sat down with him in the preseason, and I talked to him just now. He said that attitude will never change, but he also said that both Tyrod Taylor and Drew Stanton have been tremendous in helping him come along, and even Hugh Jackson told me that it's been better than expected, Colleen.
Thank you, Christina. All right, let's dig into this a little bit because we got a guy who has some pretty good insight into this team. So, Baker Mayfield, when are they going to start him?
2019.
Okay.
We should not see Baker Mayfield at all this season. The only caveat would be if, for some reason, they're out of it into Week 17. Give him one game to get a little experience. Give him some things to work on in the offseason. And he won't ruin his confidence if he has one bad game or one hard game. But if you throw him in there and he gets 10 or 12 games and he gets beat up and he loses that confidence, which is so important for a quarterback, you could ruin him for the future. And I'm going to name a couple guys that you guys may have heard of that sat almost their entire rookie season. Carson Palmer. Yep. Aaron Rodgers, that guy's not too bad.
Yeah.
And then somebody that's having a decent season right now, Patrick Mahomes, who has recently credited sitting and watching his rookie season to the success he's having right now. He wants to take his lumps with his helmet under his arm, not on his head.
Okay, so you don't think at all during this season that they should play Baker Mayfield, even if that passing attack is ranked bottom to last in the league?
Right. No, I totally think they should not, because you're assuming that Tyrod Taylor is not as good as Baker Mayfield right now.
Yeah.
Now, down the line, Baker Mayfield might be a better player. We don't know yet. But I really believe as a rookie, it takes a lot of experience in this league of watching and learning before you're ready to go out there and do it with live bullets. You may look good in practice when they're holding up that script and they're saying, throw to number 3, throw to Irv on the deep end. But you know what? When all of a sudden you come out there and you're watching a defense and they're doing something, that you haven't seen in practice,
it's almost
all
like
of a sudden it's out the window. I've got some deep scars in here, boys.
Definitely been scarred. Speaking from a broken place right
now.
He has
definitely been scarred.
Actually, let's take a look at some of those quarterbacks right now. I think we have a couple.
Oh, you got a list?
I don't know if we have enough time to go through all of them. But, look, the list is so tiny. I don't know if I can read it from here. You got,
oh, my God.
Derek
but there's a lot.
Anderson, Colt McCoy, Brandon Weeden. There's a lot on there.
Half.
Johnny Manziel.
That's not even all of them. That's half.
Yeah,
oh, no.
That's the other half.
But wait, there's
That's not
more.
even the full half.
Wait.
That's another
There's
third.
more. We couldn't fit them all on one
I
page,
know.
bro. There's too many of them.
A lot of them are rookies.
I always think about that famous picture of the guy with the jersey and it has a long list of quarterbacks going down the back. But I think we can possibly see Baker tonight.
Tonight?
Tonight. Get out of here, bud.
Reggie, what are you talking
Tonight,
about?
I think we can possibly see Baker because you're going to need that downfield passing attack. You're going to need that in games like these. This game matters. Let me just show you one quick video to make my point. Right here, Tyrod on the left-hand side going down. He has a go route. He has Jarvis Landry on a seam route. And then he has a wheel route on the right-hand side. Why this play is important is because Jarvis Landry is matched up on Manti Te'o, a linebacker, going down the seam route. These are the kinds of plays that you have to be able to make. Now, I play with Tyrod, and I know he likes to play it safe, and he plays mistake-free football, not turning the ball over, which is important. However, let me show you Baker Mayfield before you look at me cross-eyed, okay? Too late. Baker Mayfield has 2 running backs going on the out route. He has a post route followed by a dig route. Look at the space and opportunity for that dig route. Baker's eyes are down the field. He completes the pass. Those are the kinds of throws that you need, especially in November, December, when you got to make a push to the playoffs.
Look, we're talking about one play like Baker Mayfield's going to go in there and never make a mistake.
Right. And not to mention,
you're right.
If you're talking about using him in the passing game, Josh Gordon is gone. You lose one of the better receivers for him to throw to.
Yeah.
That also hurts. But listen, what makes it very difficult is the different skill sets that you have at quarterback. And this team here is in the top 5 in rushing offense, and that's because of also Tyrod Taylor.
Thank you.
When you're in the top 5 of rushing offense in this league, and then you're the number 1 turnover in number 1 in defense takeaways, you got a chance to win games as long as you're not turning the ball over. And I think that's why Baker Mayfield stays on the sideline, because they're worried about those turnovers.
A +6 turnover differential right now. Like,
incredible.
I mean, the next closest teams are the Rams and the Bengals, and they're undefeated. And the Browns are double what they have right now.
And Tyrod can make those throws. I'm not saying he can't make those throws. He had a great throw last week against the Saints for a touchdown, a deep pass.
Callaway.
He just has to be more consistent with it. Be consistent with those deep balls, because those are the plays that put a lot of pressure on the secondary.
The Browns have a top 5 defense.
Yes.
They've got a good rushing attack.
Yes.
Tyrod Taylor doesn't turn the ball over.
Yes.
That's a recipe for really good football.
They
can win the AFC North.
Get you some wins.
Why would you throw that away? Rookies are turnover machines.
They're going to be making kicks as well.
What message does it send when you're sending a young Baker Mayfield? Are the rest of the guys saying, oh, the season's gone, they're waiting on next year? It's important.
All right.
That's right. They are just getting underway here, and so is the career of that man right there, Sam Darnold. Is he living up to the expectations? Hall of Famer Troy Aikman joins us and weighs in next on NFL Game Day Kickoff.
NFL Game Day Kickoff is presented by KFC's new 100% white meat $5 fill-up.
KFC presents the new
Huge night in the land. The Jets are going for their second win in prime time, while the Browns are looking for their first win in 635 days. First Energy Stadium, we've got you covered right up to kickoff right here on Thursday Night Football.
I'm back against the wall. What we gonna do? We gonna punch and we gonna fall. Let's go. Breaks the tackle. Into the end zone for a touchdown. He caught it in the end zone. Under pressure. Lost the football. It is picked off. What a big play. That's how you do it,
Welcome to NFL Game Day Kickoff, presented by the Home Depot.
Look at Sam Darnold on the field for the New York Jets. Of course, he has a tough task tonight facing this Browns defense, much improved. And then Tyrod Taylor. How much will he be running around tonight? And this Jets defense as well, another improved unit. They love the takeaways.
You know what kind of swag you gotta have to wear number 5? Like you gotta be swagged out to rock number 5, boy.
That's right.
Hey, only the dogs rock number 5 now.
Of course, Reggie Bush, 5 in college. That's right. Joe Thomas on the set with us today in Cleveland. And we got Michael Irvin in the house. It's a packed group here. We've had so much fun already. You were kicking field goals outside. It's been awesome so far. You enjoying yourself? You feeling good?
Oh, man, this is so much fun. I maybe would have retired a few years ago if I would have known doing things on this side of the camera was this much fun.
Well, listen, both teams, obviously, tonight, they invested in the quarterbacks early in this year's draft. And you have Baker Mayfield, who will not be playing tonight, but first overall selection. He had an insane career at Oklahoma, 153 touchdowns during his time in the Big 12. And then 2 picks later, the Jets ran up to the podium to turn in the card for Sam Darnold, Rose Bowl MVP, and only 21 years old. 334 yards last week, the youngest quarterback to ever do that. That's amazing. So great week by him. So Baker's obviously not starting tonight, but you have both teams sort of building up for the future. And Reggie, how do you sort of get a team with so many young players headed in the right direction? Is there a way? Is there a solution here?
There is a way. And I go back to 2006, my rookie year. I had guys like Deuce McAllister, Drew Brees, Joe Horn, Will Smith. Those guys operated every day as true professionals, just like Joe Thomas, on and off the football field. So I had good leadership in front of me. They showed me how to operate on a day-to-day basis as a true professional. And Drew and all these guys that I named are some of the best professionals I've ever met, including yourself.
Oh, well, I appreciate that, Reggie. But you know what? It also comes down to the coaching staff. It's about them helping the team build a consistent process. You're going to go through 16 weeks of the regular season, and on that Monday after a game, you need to look at that film the same way you do whether you win or you lose. You need to be able to build that factory worker, blue-collar mentality where you're punching the clock and you're going to get the same thing out of all those players every single week. That's, I think, what you need to do from a coaching standpoint to turn around a young franchise.
And I would speak on a combination of those things. I mean, my first year, we went 3-13. The second year, 1-15. But what we were doing, we're putting setters in position, and I call them setters. Those are certain players that you have on your team that will set the tone on how things will be done. And both of these teams are starting to have those setters, and I'll give you some of them. For the Jets, Jamal Adams, that's a setter. Sam Darnold, that's a setter. Quincy Inouye, Chris Herndon, those are setters. Those guys are going to make everybody that comes in now, listen, dude, this is how we do it here, or you're going to have to kick rocks. On the other side, the job is Landry, and Mayfield, and Njoku, and the Denzel Wards. Those are setters. You have to have setters that set the tone for how you will practice, how you will perform, how you be attentive in film room, everything. That's how you turn around a young team.
And Irv, you mentioned Quincy Inouye. Watching him and his chemistry blossom sort of with Sam Darnold has been amazing. Back-to-back weeks with double-digit targets, and you just see them sort of really getting on the same page, and that was after Quincy Inouye lost his entire 2017 season because of that neck injury. So there is Sam Darnold, who will be throwing to Inouye tonight. Joe Buck He will be up in the booth tonight with Troy Aikman, and the Hall of Famer knows a thing or two about the quarterback position. So what have you seen so far early right now in Sam Darnold's career, Troy?
Well, other than the fact he went to USC, I like him a lot. I liked him coming out of college, and I'm not surprised with how well he has played. He's doing a lot of the same things that he was able to do in college, and we take a look at some of the things that he has done so far through 2 ball games. He gets out of the pocket, he rolls out right, he throws the ball well to his right. When he comes to his left, I think he's a better passer on the move to his left than he is even to his right. That's not typically the case. But for a young quarterback working through his progressions on this particular play, he comes all the way back to his 3rd receiver sitting down versus the zone, hangs in the pocket. It shows that he has a good understanding of the offense. Quick release down here on the goal line. But the thing that has plagued him in college and has plagued him at times already is the errant throw. When he gets a little bit reckless, there's a tendency for him to want to try to make a lot of plays. They're trying to rein that in a little bit, but I think the future is really bright for this young man, and I'm excited for him. I think he's going to be a great player.
Yeah, Troy, he's going to be facing a lot of pressure tonight from this Browns defense. Myles Garrett, we'll see how he deals with that on the field. Of course, we have a lot more because we're talking Jamal Adams, who Michael Irvin just talked about a second ago. He came over to the set and said, "What's up?" Awesome job by him
Bad
so
boy
far.
right there.
Yes. Great job for this Jets defense. Of course, come on, NFL Game Day Kickoff. But first, look, are you guys Yeti for the animated event of the season? Get it? Yeti? Look, here's a special look at Smallfoot in theaters September 28th.
NFL Game Day Kickoff is presented by The Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
We're inching our way closer to kickoff here in Cleveland. The sun has gone down. It's amazing. And look, there's a ton of optimism here. And one of the big reasons is John Dorsey, who has totally retooled the Browns roster. Probably necessary when you go 0-16. You got to make some changes in there. So the Browns were loaded with draft picks in April, 5 in the top 67. 2 of the first 4, and they addressed both sides of the ball there. Plus, they added veterans on offense while getting rid of some guys that have been big pieces on side of the ball, too, including just this week shipping Josh Gordon out to New England. So for more on the man with the plan, let's check in with Christina Pink. And Christina, how has John Dorsey sort of changed the culture here in Cleveland?
Well, I'll tell you, Colin, when we spoke to Greg Williams, their defensive coordinator, coming into this game, the first thing he said was, man, John Dorsey's really done a great job, and that was unprompted. He said, I love my front 7. The secondary's improving, and here in Cleveland, they certainly are singing his praises. You mentioned he brought in some proven veterans. They still have the youngest roster in the NFL, but they're starting to take steps in the right direction. We haven't seen the results in the win column just yet, but when I spoke to Hugh Jackson just moments ago, he said, we've been competitive against teams that you measure yourself against, opponents like New Orleans and Pittsburgh, but tonight they certainly have to finish the job. But they are loving John Dorsey here in Cleveland, Colleen.
Oh, Christina, they have come so close these last 2 weeks, and if the Browns pull it off tonight, there's going to be a lot of happy people here in this stadium and in Cleveland in general for a lot of reasons. But who doesn't love free beer, right? Those fridges unlock with a win, and it'll be a wrap for these fans.
It's going to be a lot of beer.
Who doesn't love free beer? It's great. That brings us to Bud Night presents Bud Light Night. So, Joe, who are you keeping your eye on tonight?
I love Denzel Ward. He leads the NFL in interceptions right now after having 2 in his first NFL game. He's all over the field. He blanketed Antonio Brown that first game. He's going to have a big game tonight because he still likes to tackle, even for a corner, which is a little bit rare.
Especially a corner.
Don't tell Prime that.
I'm not even going to say that.
Don't tell him
You better stay away from that.
Talking about
You better stay away from that.
Let's
Hey,
not
listen,
start anything.
right here, man, this young kid right here, Antonio Callaway, and I reach out to most young kids that are coming into the league that may have had issues in college. This kid came in as a 4th-round pick, should have been a top 15 pick, led Florida in receiving yards in 2015 and 16, didn't play in 2017. Last week, 3 receptions for 81 yards and a beautiful 47-yard touchdown.
Gorgeous.
This kid right here can play football, and he will be a great wide receiver for the Cleveland Browns.
I'm going to go with this guy right here, Jarvis Landry, man. This guy is a beast. He loves to play football. He plays it with passion. He has 5 or more catches in 19 straight games. That's the 2nd longest streak in the NFL, period. So I can't wait to see this guy catch some balls tonight.
So we've talked about all of these players that they have. They have the pieces. We've seen them come so close the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, Joe, when you look at the team now, you take a step back, how close do you think they are to being a playoff team? And I get it, they have to get a win first, but, like, how close are they?
They're getting really close. Let me tell you, they've built a top 5 defense like we talked about. When you have a defense that can take the ball away and can stop the run, you can stay in any game, right? John Dorsey has put a lot of talent at that skill position on offense, and they're getting better, right? New quarterback, new offense coordinator. It's going to take a few games to get that going, but they're headed in the right direction on offense. They can be dangerous in the AFC North. They might even win it.
Right. And you said that. I mean, that last statement, don't just ride by it. They may even have a chance to win it because it's wide open right now. The AFC North is wide open. And as we've both said, all said, they should be 2-0 right now. They have to learn how to just get right over that thing that they call winning at the end. And it's like if you're losing weight. You lose 40, you want to lose 40 pounds. You lose 37.5 pounds. It's that last 2.5 that you got to get off you. That's very hard. That's the bridge they have to get over.
Man. They should, listen, they had the Pittsburgh Steelers on the ropes. They should have beat them at home. It was a perfect storm, literally. It was raining.
2 playoff teams.
They had no Lev Bell, 2 playoff teams, and a first ballot future Hall of Fame QB. They got pressure on them. They got turnovers. They had the Saints on the rope as well. They got pressure on Drew Brees. So I can't wait to just see how they play tonight because they have so much potential. And you're right, they should be 2-0 right now.
I know it. I know it. Dan Hellie, what do you think? 2-0? Should they be that right now?
I agree. They should be 2-0. Unfortunately, a couple of missed kicks have them at 0-1-1. The fans are ready to go here at the Muni Lot. LT always ready to go. So 0-1-1. You listen to the guys in there. Joe Thomas says they could win the division. Irv says the division's wide open. What do you say about this team? How optimistic should they be?
I agree with both of them. I think they should be very optimistic because you look at this team and anybody with eyeballs can see that they have foundational pieces that eventually they will start to win. And Irv talked about getting over that last hump. And it's all about learning how to win. But when I think, when you look at it, you have to start to see like your own little wins. Even if you don't win the game, certain things when you watch the film that you say, hey, if we do this a little bit better, we're going to come out on top. Over the first couple of weeks, there are a number of things that the Browns can be proud about that they see when they went back and watched film, that they are right there. They're so close. And, I don't know when it's going to happen, but I really believe this season they're going to have multiple wins. But the arrow is definitely pointing up for this team.
635 days since that last win. Hugh Jackson won 32-1 as a head coach, but so much talent on this young roster. And they have 4 picks in the first 3 rounds next year. So John Dorsey going to be loaded with more draft picks as well. Colleen?
Yeah, Dan, can they get it together, though, tonight here in Cleveland? We have Sam Darnold on the field. He has other things that he wants to say about this. He doesn't think so. We'll be back after this.
Youngest quarterback ever, 21 years old.
I'm just so happy to be in the NFL, but now it's time to go to work.
The question coming into today, is Sam Darnold for real? Sam Darnold launches a deep one, touchdown, Jets. Oh, Sam Darnold.
NFL Game Day Kickoff is brought to you by Verizon. The best unlimited is
Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Get ready for kickoff with NFL Game Day Morning.
Have you not seen the last half century?
After a tough loss in Tampa, the Eagles are done waiting on Carson Wentz.
Wentz, they've got him.
He escapes. How'd he do it?
Our guys will let you know what to expect in Carson's comeback. And what do you get when you pair 2 Super Bowl winning QBs? Some unique insight into playing the toughest position in all of sports.
I don't visualize failure. I visualize success and what it's going to look like.
Plus, it's a battle of 0-2 teams when the Giants head to Houston. Our experts explain whose stars will step up and save their season. All that and more, Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern on NFL Game Day Morning.
with only 6 first-half points this season, hoping a quicker start will hopefully lead them to a win this week. Now, on the flip side of things, the Jets, they've been in quarterback turmoil for what seems like an eternity. But their luck, it might be changing thanks to rookie Sam Darnold. So is he the answer to all their prayers? Jets fans, including Rich Eisen, think so. And they have something they want to tell him. Emotions that can only be expressed in man's best form of communication, a letter.
Dear Sam, hi, how you doing? It's us, Jets fans. And we just wanted to take a minute to tell you something. We love you, man. Will you love us back? Wait, don't answer that yet. I know, we've just met and hardly know each other. But while you were, not born, things have been a little rough for us. Really rough. Losing seasons and really losing seasons.
We just fumbled again, guys.
Lots of them. Oh, there have been winning ones, and we have thought we've had our right quarterback before. Even wore number 14, too. His name was Richard Todd, but he threw the ball to a Dolphin named AJ too many times once in a title game. That hurt. There was another guy we took in the first round named Ken, but he ran into a Miami guy named Dan too many times. Dan fake spiked us once, too, and it still burns. You are probably still too young to remember Chad. He was good, but not often enough. Oh, our last USC guy, So you also know Mark almost got us to the Super Bowl twice, but didn't.
Damn it!
Then he ran into some, issues.
It was the backside of Brandon Moore.
So this time with you, I don't know, it just feels different. Your first game? That was awesome.
Terrific throw by Sam Darnold.
Maybe it's the way we got you, since we are used to being jilted at the altar by someone else.
I've decided to resign as the head coach of the New York Jets.
Maybe it's the way we're being told by some people we're getting too hyped over you. And that makes us want to say, hype this! You gotta be kidding me! So what if we think he's the next Namath? The last 50 years feel like it's lasted 500. We've been getting our teeth kicked in over here. Not even Parcells worked out for us. Our last great big hope ran into his lineman's great big... Sorry, Sam. We can get a little emotional sometimes. You'll find that out over the next decade or so because we're going to be together a long time. And we already love you. So about that question, will you love us back? If so, please check this box. A lot. Thanks. Love. A lot of love. Jets fans.
That coming from Staten Island's own Rich Eisen. A very vulnerable Rich Eisen, it sounded like.
He was very vulnerable.
Very heartfelt. I like that. So, but this is how a lot of Jets fans feel, at least that I've spoken to. When they look at Sam Darnold, it seems like this is the franchise quarterback that they have been waiting for, the way that he's played. Do you agree so far, Reggie?
Yeah, I agree. I like what I've seen from him. As a rookie quarterback, one of the things you always worry about is how is he going to bounce back after a turnover. In that first game, he proved that it didn't even faze him. Another thing I liked about him was his eyes are always down the field when he's scrambling. He's scrambling to buy his receivers more time to get open, to buy himself more time to get open. And that puts a lot of pressure on the secondary.
Yeah, he's absolutely their franchise quarterback that they've been looking for. He's cool under pressure. He can move in the pocket. He's got great leadership skills, and he's got a great work ethic. He just needs to work on his decision-making. But that's normal for most rookies. They're going to make those mistakes. They're going to make those bad decisions. But I still think he's definitely their franchise quarterback.
Yeah, and there are certain characteristics that you require for a franchise quarterback. He has all of those. But there are other things that I think you require that you're seeing. Like I heard him talking last week about that ball he threw to Terrell Pryor. Terrell Pryor didn't get across the safety's face, and it was an interception. He took blame for that. Terrell Pryor later came out and said, no, that wasn't on me. That was on me. That kind of leadership, that's what tells you, he has that physical stuff on the football field, but if those guys don't believe it in the locker room and you're not covering them and they're covering you, then franchise quarterback you would never be. He is definitely the real deal.
What do you expect from him tonight? Because we saw what he's capable of Monday Night Football against the Lions, and then he kind of came back down to earth because they were behind, and he had to throw the ball so many times, so he wasn't as efficient. So what do you think for tonight?
Well, I think tonight, for him, for one, he's going to see a lot of pressure. He's going to see a lot of exotic fronts. So he can show to us and to everybody else how he's handling that pressure, because this is going to be a sophisticated defensive scheme that he's going to see. Maybe one of the most sophisticated defensive schemes in the NFL right now.
So you're going to see more of what you've seen the last 2 weeks, some ups and some downs.
Yeah. Yep.
Hopefully more ups and downs.
Roller coaster of Sam Darnold.
Right.
We're all here for the ride right now. We're here for this too as well. The Browns, they're coming. They came so close, 2 weeks in a row to getting the win. But is this the day they secure their first win since December of 2016? Don't miss our experts' Week 3 picks coming up next.
Thank you for watching NFL Game Day Kickoff, presented by The Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
Live on the banks of Lake Erie, the Jets and the Browns, hoping to prove the future is now. Week 3 kicks off in Cleveland tonight.
Let's go for a ride on a carousel of hope. With lights, music, horses. Climb on, have fun, and hold on tight.
Riding along on a carousel, trying to catch up to you.
Round and round and round, trying to reach for the rings. Like the Browns, every season, just past their fingers. The Jets had awesome players too. But the merry-go-round never slows down. Quarterbacks kept coming, even Hall of Famers. Some wore both jerseys. The names changed, but the rides stayed the same. We all believed there were better times ahead.
Sam Darnold.
Like now, it's a new football season, when dreams come true. Are these the stars we've been waiting for? Will this be the year the Browns, the Jets, grab the real brass ring? On this carousel of hope.
Welcome to NFL Game Day Kickoff, presented by Hyundai.
The carousel of hope.
Macho Man.
That guy right there.
That's Macho Man Randy Savage
sure.
right there.
I know. Look, he's on his own carousel right now. We got Tyrod Taylor there. Number 5. We'll see if he can protect himself tonight, not take as many unnecessary sacks. He's been doing that a lot. And Sam Darnold, the Jets quarterback, can he get his second win here in Cleveland this evening? We're taking you guys right up to kickoff. I'm Colleen Wolfe here, joined by Joe Thomas. You're back. You're like a rock star outside the parking lot. It was amazing.
Really good to be home.
That's right. Reggie Bush, what's up?
How you doing? How you doing, Joe? How you enjoying yourself, man?
Everybody, what a great night, man. So far, it's been awesome.
This the dog right here, man. I love this dude right here.
Michael Irvin.
Yes, sir. Look at the fans up there for him.
We have great fans up here.
Joe's house. That's right. Some
they have
respect
amazing
here, boys.
signs. It's awesome. And then Bob Wiley just came over here. We keep missing him. I'm like really bummed out.
I got a
keep
chance to
missing
speak to him. I got a chance to speak to him. I shook his hand.
Whatever, Reggie.
I shook his hand.
I had to do the show. Let's do it now. The Jets and the Browns both drafting quarterbacks of the future this year and surrounding them with young talent. Now the Jets defense loaded up with high draft picks. The Browns building up that defense as well with Myles Garrett, one of the best pass rushers in the league already. And Jarvis Landry, only 25 years old, led the league in catches just a year ago. So, Joe, look, we're back in your old town. We're back here for a game. This is great. What are you looking forward to tonight, besides maybe watching the Browns win a game?
I'm looking forward to the Browns winning, but tell you what, I cannot wait to watch Sam Darnold and how he handles this Browns secondary. A secondary that loves to intercept passes. They love to force fumbles. How is Sam Darnold going to handle that on a short week?
Yeah, I want to see how the Cleveland Browns are going to finish this football game, because they've been close. They've been really close against some good teams. So I want to see how they finish this football game tonight and get their first victory of the season.
And I wanted to see them add the passing element to the things that they've done in the first couple of weeks. But then we heard about Carlos Hyde, who was at the hospital with his wife.
Yeah.
She got induced,
that?
about to have a baby. Left the hospital, ran to the stadium, and he's here to play with his team.
That's dedication right there.
On his 28th birthday. When all of those elements collide like that in a situation like this, usually this kid have one of those incredible games.
I
want to see if that happens. One of those incredible games where he can set marks and welcome in his new baby.
And it's his birthday? I mean, the universe feels like everyth's lining up for him right now.
Right, that's incredible.
If that's the case on the field tonight. A lot to still get to in the show. Tyrod Taylor, the starter for the Browns. Can he lead the Browns to their first victory since December 2016?
Gets a block and does the rest to the house.
And it is picked off. What a big play. And makes an incredible catch. This place is going wild.
NFL Game Day Kickoff is presented by Hyundai, official sponsor of the NFL.
The first chapter doesn't look so bad right now.
A rifle throw from Sam Darnold. Touchdown.
Is he Sammy the Savior? That script yet to be written.
Is Sam Darnold for real?
Looks left, slant left, and it's intercepted. And if you're Sam Darnold, you're going to look back at so many missed opportunities.
Up and down sort of first 2 weeks for Sam Darnold. So this will be a nice test to see where he actually is tonight against this Browns defense that will be throwing so many things at him. You know, Greg Williams does everything, blitzes, stunts, everything. So Reggie, which Sam Darnold will we see tonight?
I think we're going to see, like Irv said earlier, I think we're going to see a little bit of week 1 and week 2. I think he's going to have some ups and some downs. He's going to have some good plays, some bad plays. But that's where I think he is right now because of this exotic front, this sophisticated scheme that he's going to see. He's going to have some ebb and flows throughout the game.
And let me tell you something and give you an example of it. Now, that first game, his first start, Detroit. First pass, interception, a pick 6. But he came back, and his first touchdown was a thing of beauty. Let me show you this right here. This is Detroit. They're playing a cover 2. The number 2 receiver in is tight end Nate Sterling. Look how he uses Nate Sterling route to hold a safety right there, Tavon Wilson, and throws a perfect pass over the head of the safety. Can't get back to this to Robbie Anderson in the end zone. Now, you throw a pick 6, and then you come back and you use all of these manipulative moves and make a perfect throw that says, boy, you got a great talent. I need all the Jet fans to understand this. You're blessed now. You've been losing to lose, but now you got a young quarterback. So even when you do think when things don't go well and you lose, you're losing to gain because he will not make the same mistakes too many times. He's a smart kid.
Unfortunately for Jets fans, they're going to see the Sam Darnold from last week. First experience on a short week. Greg Williams loves to blitz. He loves to bring exotic pressures. Sam Darnold's going to see a lot of that. Greg Williams was able to confuse Drew Brees last week. I don't think Sam Darnold's going to be able to hold up to these different looks, especially on a short week.
Sam Darnold, he was also sacked 4 times last week against the Dolphins, so there were some protection issues. You know that the Browns are going to eat that up. They watched that all week on film, so it should be interesting. One of the guys that's going to be after him, Myles Garrett, this man right here. We saw earlier in the show a picture of him from high school.
He was the same size. He was the same size. He
was unbelievable, Joe. Now he's a monster.
Win tonight around here. Came to get that W tonight.
Right around the corner. Look at that one. Look at how cute. This is so exciting. Browns fans, they are pumped up, and we're about to get them even more pumped up with this pick segment we have coming up. Who's winning tonight? LT, I send it out to you first.
All right, I know everybody on set and most of America is picking the Cleveland Browns to get their first win in a long time. But I'm going to be the contrarian here, right? I'm going to pick my former team, Jets, Jets 21-17.
All right, that's fine, LT, because I am going to go ahead and do it. I'm taking the Browns.
That's what I'm talking about, Kylie.
Right?
Hold it up to the fans.
I'm taking the Browns.
Hold it up.
2013. I love the matchup of Jarvis Landry against Buster Screen in the slot. I can't wait to see Tyrod Taylor in this game and for Cleveland to get their first win in 635 days.
Here's a big surprise, guys. I've got the Cleveland Browns in a 2017 battle. The Sam Darnold versus Greg Williams pressure is not going to be good for Sam Darnold.
About it.
He threw most of his picks in college into pressure. It's a short week. He's not going to be ready for all these exotic licks that Greg Williams gets him, and the Browns are going to win 20-17.
Okay,
20-17 first victory.
How you
I'm
feeling?
going with the Cleveland Browns. 28-14.
Oh, all right.
Let's go.
3 in a row.
It always
You hear him cheering for me right now.
That's it.
I'm joking.
All
I'm
for
joking.
you, Reg.
It's not for me. It's for the
It
team.
always scares me when we all pick, at least on one desk, we all pick one team. But I am going with the Browns.
That's right.
24-14. Listen, the Browns, this is a must-win for them.
Yeah, it is.
For the record, yeah. But to save hope that these fans are showing right now, they have to win this game. And I'm expecting a passing game to get better on track a little bit out here tonight for the Browns. And I am expecting Carlos Hyde to show up and show out for that newborn baby that he has coming.
Yes, sir.
That's right. Maybe he will join us after the game up here for, we have the winners that come up here, the best players of the game. Could be Carlos Hyde. It's his birthday. Everything's coming together for him. Let's get the crowd pumped up one more time, Joe. You're good at this.
Here we
got
go,
the Browns.
Brownies. Here we go.
We all picked the Browns here at this desk.
Come on, don't make us look
We got
bad.
the game coming up now. We're just moments away from the start of Week 3 in Cleveland, Ohio. For Reggie Bush, Michael Irvin, LaDainian Tomlinson, and former Brown Joe Thomas, I'm Colleen Wolfe, Joe Buck, and Troy Aikman take you to kickoff right after this.
Thank you for watching NFL GameDay Kickoff, presented by Hyundai, official sponsor of the NFL.